legends, and welcome to Zwifty Chat. Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode... Oh no, that's the wrong way around. Which way is it going to appear? Episode 12! I can't work it out. It's like it looks like that's the wrong way to me. Episode 12 of Zwifty Chat with weird finger signals. I'm delighted to say we're joined by a very special guest this week and a very special co-host for the first time. Simon has been promoted. Ben has abandoned us. He won the quiz last week and he's abandoned us. He's taken all his quiz winnings and headed off to China. But yes, the man, the myth, the legend. Welcome, Michael Rammel! Woo! Go on, Simon, get on with it. How are you doing,
Thanks
Michael?
for having me.
Well, thanks for coming. I saw you briefly earlier today, and we're going to spend a couple of hours. You had a race earlier. How did that go?
It's very impromptu, so sort of let me roll out the excuses. No, it went fine. I'm still somewhat sort of coming back to form at the moment. I'm not where I sort of was even just before Christmas. So it's taking a bit longer to get back to a level of fitness that I am truly happy with. But baby steps. Every single Zwift ride is a little step forward. So yeah, that's another brick in the wall today.
Yes, well, you're still a young man. I'm at the stage now where I've had a dip, and I'm like, I'm never going to get back. I'm never ever going to get back to where I was. It's like the years are against me.
Yeah, that's my worry. So age-wise, so I'm 37 this year. So I have a baby face. I recognise that. Yeah, but I'm 37 this year, and I'm wondering now whether the seater has just tipped slightly. Like everything takes a little bit longer to recover, and everything's a little bit more achy, and stretching is something I have to do on a daily basis if I stand any chance.
Oh, don't do that. Don't start stretching. Yeah. It's a road to ruin. And I'll come back to you soon, and we'll talk about your cycling history, etc. And your crash. I love talking about crashes. It's maybe not as fun for you. But Simon, welcome again. How you doing, man?
It's great to be back. Great to help out this time. Be a bit more of a sidekick. As I said earlier, I'll be Penfold to your Danger Mouse.
Oh, that brings back some memories. Who's the voice of Danger Mouse? Because
David Jason.
Oh, David Jason was
Danger
Mouse.
He was.
Who's Penfold then?
Terry Scott.
Famous. Oh, was
Terry
it?
Scott. Yeah, from Terry and June.
Fantastic! Yeah, of course it was. Blimey, we are showing our age. We've got Terry and June and Danger Mouse.
Michael's got no idea what we're talking about.
No, I know exactly who Danger Mouse is. Exactly. And I was upset when they remade the series. I've got a 13-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son. It was not the same. They ruined it. They butchered it. Same with Thomas the Tank Engine, but we could do an hour on that if you want.
What were they thinking? And Tom and Jerry even. Tom and Jerry got Tom and Jerry rubbish. We have got a little bit banging. I don't know if you're banging your desk. You say it's reverberating. I don't know if that's it. That noise there. Oh, and some beeping.
That might be my washing machine.
Oh, okay.
I'll get the wife. One sec.
Okay. Right. So this week. I can't remember if I changed the itinerary. I hope I changed the itinerary because you were very critical of me last week, weren't you, Simon, of the itinerary? So I've updated it so it's a more modern font. So we're going to say hello to Mike and talk about his cycling history and setbacks and his viral crash. I raced with Cameron Jeffers this week, so we'll have a brief look at that maybe. And a completely unrelated topic, we'll talk about the benefits of weight doping versus bike doping. Um, and I really liked, there was an article on Zwift Insider this week. It wasn't by Eric, but it's about tiny little improvements to Zwift that could be made. So we'll have a look at those. We'll talk about team captaincy and the fence. Oh, I wish that was a feature. It was like a deathmatch game or something like that we were going to do. So I didn't realise the itinerary was quite so far up. I think I'll try and move it out. I can't work out how to move it out. Oh man, I shouldn't fiddle in the middle of a podcast. It's a it's always going to be. And I feel like I've spoke. I'm going to let you speak at some stage. Blimey. But yes, we're going to talk about the fence in group rides. And we've got a quiz. I've done another quiz. I'm starting to run short of questions, so we may have to end the podcast completely if I can't think of any more questions next week. But we have one this week. So bike doping, Troy. So the most famous incident of cheating, well, I think we have to call it cheating, is by Cameron Jeffers. He's a great guy, and it was completely overblown in my view. But he got his friend offered to give him the Tron, so he gave him control of his account. His friend, I don't know how his friend did it, whether he used a bot or whether he just rode it or whatever, but his friend did the miles in order to upgrade him to the Tron. He used the Tron in a big event, and therefore he got like a 6-month ban from all cycling, I think.
Madness.
So yeah, and it's just become overly famous as an incident that happened in Zwift. I suppose it was like towards the start of it. He was the first ever British esport champion as well. So he's a very, very accomplished cyclist, and he got some tiny, tiny advantage from some tiny, tiny crime. Right. Have I asked how you are, Simon? I have, haven't I?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been speaking too much. Right, Mike, you've been a cyclist a while. How did all this start, and when, and why, and so forth?
Oh, gosh, we have to go quite a long way back now. It's sad to say because, like I say,
We've
I'm
got
37
loads
this year,
of time.
So, yeah. So I've always been a cyclist. I'm a latchkey kid, so I was always out on my bike, and that was our way of getting around. Back in the day, my brothers and I'm one of 3 boys, so my mum would pretty much kick us out of the house in the morning, and the way we would travel great distances, of course, is by bike. So we would be out in the morning, and we wouldn't come back home until the street lights were on. So, I wish Strava was around back then. I would love to have known how much distance we covered on our beat-up mountain bikes. Yeah, so I was quite blessed to live in an area where we had some pretty stunning forests near us in Berkshire. So I gravitated towards going off-road. Didn't want to be on the footpath, didn't want to be on the road, obviously, not on a mountain bike, not at that age anyway. So, I ended up going...
When I was a kid, people didn't care about what sort of bike you were on. You were just like, I'll take my racing bike through the woods. I mean, I suppose you wouldn't do it every day, and you knew it was a bit crap and rubbish. But, I didn't, if you're on the road, it didn't matter. On the mountain bike, it didn't matter. You just go a bit slower, don't you?
I do remember having a BMX or a BMX style bike. I'm not sure if it's the BMX brand, but I absolutely loved it. Single gear, pegs on the back, all that good stuff, big high bars, having brothers, it wasn't uncommon that there would be 2 of us on one bike, whether we were on the bars, 2 of us, one on the saddle, one setting up, one on the pegs, etc. So, we just used to go in the forest all the time, spend hours up there. And as I got a little bit older, sort of a lot changed in '99 for my family. Okay, going back some time now, blimey. We sort of came into some money, so to speak, and then it's sort of other avenues opened. So one of the first things I wanted when opportunity presented itself was, Mum, can I please have a new bike, a nice bike, a proper bike, a shiny, fancy bike? So I did. I ended up going and getting a Giant. I can't remember which model it was, but it was a gorgeous aluminium full suspension, It wasn't a 29er because that wasn't in vogue back then. But yeah, I remember going into Fulham in London and picking it up from a very specialist bike shop and spending a pretty penny on it. More than I think probably most kids my age would have ever spent on a bike.
Why don't people like aluminium anymore? I love aluminium. I think it's great.
I think it's fantastic. I'm with you all the way. I mean, my first road bike coming back into cycling was an aluminium bike. It was a Cannondale Synapse aluminium. It's fantastic. Carbon forks, mind you, but yeah, it's fantastic. But I smacked the hell out of that Cannondale. Giant. My apologies, Giant. Around the trails, braking, forks, having to replace forks, buckling wheels, spokes, you name it. So got very handy at kind of MacGyvering things back together. Sort of upgraded that over time. And then a few years later, when I sort of finished school and wanted to start working, it was also my way of getting to work as well. So I ended up doing a lot of it sort of on-road, sort of on cycle path riding to my office, which was about 8 or 9 miles away. On that mountain bike, but then I got a car. The bike was left in the garden, got rusty. I got fat, and then took a long hiatus from the bike for several years. And then when
what a wonderful word to introduce into the podcast. I love a little hiatus. That's a great word. Simon, you need to say a nice word. What's your favourite word?
The one that's been on the last couple of episodes, but I can't remember it. something that sounds rude, but actually wasn't.
Oh, interpenetration.
Made up a word. That's the one. Yeah, interpenetration. That's it.
Sorry to interrupt. That is Zwift's term for when riders phase through each other. You would think phasing through.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what they call it?
They call it interpenetration apparently. I don't know whether they're doing it tongue in cheek or it's just like something that's stuck.
It's the first I've heard of it, but I applaud them for that. They could have called it anything. Like I said, they could have said, "Oh, you're phasing through each other." I like the way they come with a nice technical term, interpenetration.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to shout that on tomorrow's stream. We're interpenetrating, guys. We're interpenetrating.
Don't interpenetrate me! Stop it! We need to get a little line. No interpenetration space. Yes, sorry. That's going to be cause of a line. I interrupted your hiatus.
A hiatus for the hiatus.
When did you unhiatus yourself?
I think it was 2012. I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, my daughter was born. My wife took some time off work. We only had the one car between us. I said, "This is madness. Like, we're not going to buy a second car because it's expensive and you're not working at the moment." And I now live about 4.5 miles from the office. Like, I'm going to get a bike. I've done longer distances than this. So I picked up a bike that I had been ogling since those days back in '99. I used to sit at the cafe back in those days and I used to see a lot of people come through on Saracens, Marins and Orange bikes, the British brand. So I did exactly that. I went and picked up a gorgeous orange clockwork 29er. And it sort of, I was going to say no expense there, but there was some, given that obviously my wife wasn't working at the time. But it was, again, more than I'd ever spent on a bike. It was all I wanted. And I'd had that about 18 months, and I didn't crash that one. That was stolen out of my garage. I was absolutely gutted. I was gutted. Yeah, we moved to a new area, an area that we thought was quite affluent. You know, we had our daughter. We thought, okay, let's move somewhere nice. Let's raise our children. Let's be good parents. And my garage was broken into, and quite a few goodies were taken, including my pride and joy. And I was absolutely destroyed. I genuinely did cry. I'm not ashamed to admit.
Do you think it was targeted?
Well, several of the garages in the block were broken into, unfortunately. So it was, a real shame. So I got some insurance money through. I then combined that with a Cycle2Work voucher and a little bit of savings. So again, now spending more money. And I thought, you know what, I'm doing
and
something.
And you were using it to cycle to work. One of my pet peeves is people who abuse the British tax system and get a Cycle2Work voucher and don't cycle to work with it. It's one of my favourite things. This is why one of the reasons that I'm highly unpopular is that I go on the biking forum where I work, and someone says, "Oh, how do I get this cycle to work so I can buy this £20,000 tri-bike?" No, we are not tax dodgers. If you don't advertise it, if you got a tax dodge, and then everyone piles in on me and says, "Oh, how are they going to know?" And I go, I don't care. You're breaking the law. It's not right.
In that case, I won't tell you about the Cycle2Work scheme voucher. I later used to subsidise a Di2 upgrade on my Propel. So.
I do have a contact at Her Majesty's Customs Revenue, so I'll let them know.
I pay more than my fair share of taxes. I'm sure
His Majesty.
Leave me alone, please.
His Majesty, sorry.
Yeah, true. So I picked up my first road bike not long after that, sort of realising that I'm spending so much time riding on the road that it's just lunacy for me to be sort of going slower than is possible. So I picked up a Cannondale Synapse aluminium. Loved it, and I was going faster than ever, further than ever, doing longer rides than ever. Got clipped-in pedals, started thinking about aerodynamics. I did a couple of 100-mile rides on it, 100 miles, not kilometers. I was hooked. The road was. I was asking myself, like, where has this been all my life? I've been up on trails, I've been doing jumps and mountain bikes, I've been ruining components left, right, and centre. Why have I not been on the road until now? And then that question was answered when I was swiftly wiped out at a roundabout, about 100 metres from the office, which was an absolute. Again, the bike was a write-off, so that was I'm gutted about that. But again, the insurance money came through, and I went and picked up my what I now affectionately call my Triggers Broom Giant Propel. So yeah, for people who don't know that reference, it's an Only Fools and Horses reference. But yeah, it's a bike where.
Sorry, just repeat that. What do you call it?
It's the Triggers Broom bike.
Oh,
my giant
right,
Propel.
I see.
So yeah, I replaced the saddle, replaced the bars, replaced the wheels, replaced the Di2 on it, and then I noticed a crack, so the frame got replaced under warranty, so everything was replaced. So yeah, and that's the bike that is on my turbo today, to this very day. That sort of replaced or warranty replaced giant Propel, which I love. It fits me like a glove. So yeah, that's almost my journey today. In a nutshell, though, 2019 was a big year for me. I got into Team Alpecin. And then that changed a lot, really took me to the next level in terms of the volume of riding, the intensity, the focus of the training, nutrition, understanding of it all.
I know I completely misunderstood this, because I was like, what? You did what?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? You going to Team Alpecin? What does that mean?
Yeah, so it wasn't like Katusha Alpecin, but it was what they called the cyclo-sportive version of that. So going sort of loosely, trying to create a segue here, going back to the Cameron Jeffers reference, where I agree that he was wholeheartedly harshly punished for what was, let's be honest, a silly misdemeanor, right? It's no big deal, not punishment worthy at all. Yeah, there's Zwift notification. But so I think what Alpecin were trying to do for over a decade, predominantly in Germany initially, was to try and sort of demonstrate and illustrate to the public that becoming this fast and riding for this long and doing this sort of power is possible with the right nutrition, with the right training, with the right sort of sponsorship and focus. So they were sponsoring effectively sort of, I think initially it was some like 15 or 20 riders from Germany, and saying, look, we are going to treat you like a pro rider for 1 year and demonstrate or show the public, prove to the public that with this level of support, you can go next level. So over the course of around a decade or so, they sort of grew the program, developed the program further. Then they sort of widened it out to other parts of Europe, of which England was part of at the time, before Brexit. And yeah, so they opened up applications, I think late December or sort of before Christmas 1 year. I applied, wrote a long piece about why I would do well in the program, what I would take away from it, what I would bring to it, all that sort of stuff. Like I got a place. And effectively, what that gave me and a dozen other riders for that year, for 2019, was the lifestyle of a pro cyclist. Effectively everything except the salary, unfortunately. Right. And I mean everything. So we had coaches. We got to ride and meet the pros as well. We flew out to Bielefeld in Germany, which is where the Alpecin headquarters is. We got bucket loads of shampoo. I could probably have a bath in Alpecin shampoo with how much I've got. But
is it any good? I've never had any. I don't think I've had an Alpecin product, as far as I'm aware.
No, I mean, look, it's. I mean, I love.
Dissolved your head.
Yeah, that's my sport. Yeah, that's it. Although I attribute that more to wife and kids, but. Yeah, that was a great. Yeah, we got given a Canyon. It was an enduro race, but it was a CF. No, it wasn't a CF because that wasn't out yet, but it was the SLX, top of the range one. And we were among the first, but even before the pro teams in the World Tour, at the time had the new SRAM Access 12 speed group set. We had sponsors. We had about 15 or 20 sponsors, something like that, from nutrition, bikes, Katusha themselves, Alpecin themselves, hotel makers, or sort of holiday makers, I should say, or holiday tour operators. That's what I'm looking for. We had training camps. Yeah, you name it. There's a picture on my Instagram page somewhere, and I think also as a thumbnail on one of my YouTube videos of just me laying on the floor in the Alpecin HQ with everything we were given sort of just splayed on the floor around me. And it was to illustrate the point. Henning, who's the name of the photographer, had to climb up on a sort of 8 or 9 foot ladder with a wide angle to photograph down on me to basically capture me and all these goodies that we received. So it was an unbelievable experience. Unbelievable. A lot of fun. So
Is that why your
good,
skin's so silky smooth and youthful?
You're like highlighting all the things at the moment. Like the hair's gone, the skin is rough. Like you caught me.
No, I was being sarcastic. You have got beautiful skin.
Well, I thank you. Yeah.
So Michael, did they actually prove it? Did they actually prove that they could take people and bring them up to the next level?
I'd say so, for sure. Yeah, for sure. When I first went to the training camp, my apologies, I'll take it back a step. When we first met in Bielefeld at the Alpecin HQ, we had lactate tests. We had sort of body scans.
Men can't lactate.
We blood lactate.
Oh,
not
okay.
that kind.
Right.
That would be the punishment for the quiz. You've got to try and do that.
How much lactate? Oh yeah, it's lactic.
The other kind, yeah, the other kind. Right. Lactic, yeah. But we had all sorts of tests. I think I was at 82 or 82 and a half, just sub 83 kilos. And the objective was effectively that by the end of that year, or the sort of, the hero event that we were going to be racing was the 2019 Tour de France stage that went from Val Thorens to Albertville, which took in the Cormet du Roseland, which is the stage that was cancelled due to snow, where Egan Bernal won it that year.
Yeah.
You might remember that he and who's our favourite Frenchman who just moved from Quickstep, drawing a blank. Why have I drawn a blank? You know the one I mean, though. Yes, Alaphilippe. Alaphilippe was in yellow, and then the stage got cancelled, and then Egan Bernal took yellow because of the cancellation stage. So we got to ride that 4 or 5 days ahead of them, and it was incredible.
Because I actually watched your video, and maybe I wasn't paying full attention, but it was like it's called the cancelled stage. And then you just ride it, and I'm like, "What's going on here?" Because the title doesn't.
There's a lack of context there.
The title doesn't match up. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" But of course,
so we got
it's
to
that
ride it
route
before
right,
they rode it. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah. So I ended up doing that. My numbers for this, I think I finished that course in 7 hours 10 or something, which was pretty good going. And I think my numbers for the entire duration were 290 something watts. So
what?
It was good going.
What?
I managed to average. Yeah, it was very good. I was
7 hours?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. I was very happy. You've got me down myself now. I'm gonna have to jump on Strava because I'm sure people watching.
Were you like 100 kilos or something?
No, I didn't drop as much weight as I wanted. The objective was to try and drop about 10% of weight. I don't think I managed it. I think I got to about 76 kilos. I think I'm naturally a bit more of a heavy set person. But,
I can't even do that for half an hour. Oh man.
Yeah, it's 2020 and 2021 were the years where I really stepped up. Those were the good years. I'm just going to try and find.
Did you have a good pandemic? Was the pandemic good to you?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, working from home, quote unquote, was great. Here we go. I'm going to find this ride and see if I can find the average powers that I did.
No, it's not that I don't believe you. It just is utterly incredible.
No, I'm down to myself now. I'm down to myself.
No.
But yeah.
Right. Well. Pandemic. You just. So you had your year, and they said, "Well done. Here's all the shampoo that we've got." Off you go.
Exactly. That's exactly how it went. I was very fortunate as well because the year after the 2020 team, they'd announced that team, and obviously then lockdown came in January, February, whenever that may have been. So they had to pretty much do the whole year effectively sort of remote. Like they didn't get to go and do the team training camps in Italy that we did. They didn't get to go to Germany like we did. I don't even think they got to ride the sort of rides in France that we did. So I think they've still got all the same sponsorships and the same kit and equipment, but they
without
didn't get the same in-person
awesome experience stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. But I feel very bad for those guys, but very pleased myself. So
yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it?
Rob, pandemic can't have been good for baiting people about using their Cycle2Work vouchers for bikes and not going to work either, can it?
No, it wasn't. It was a bit of a lull, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. I'm such a petty, horrible man. I really am. Right. So yeah, pandemic, loads of biking. Did you go indoors at that point or not?
A little bit. I mean, 2019 for me was still not. I got my first bike kicker call from the team. Like they gave us all kickers, but I did not. It was fantastic.
To be honest, if you get given a kicker call, and I know the shampoo and that stuff, I'd call you a professional. That's like £1,000 worth of kit in them days, isn't it?
It was incredible. And we had a year's subscription to Zwift as well. Yeah, which I hasten to say I did not use. When I was given the kicker, it stayed in the box for months. I refused to use it. I was like, no, I'm not doing this indoor turbo rubbish. This is awful. I hate it. And I tried it a few times. And when sort of the opportunity presented itself to go out, but it was raining, I was like, oh, fine, I'll drag it out. And I hated it. So yeah, to be here today, to be talking about Zwift and to be pretty much streaming every other day, this is a hell of a turnaround for me. I think Zwift is now, dare I say it, almost preferred to being outside.
Yeah, I think I do. So. It's the hatred directed at cyclists. Oh, tell us when is an appropriate point to watch your video. Where does that weave into the story?
2019 was when I had the accident.
Oh,
I was out on a training ride. Yeah, I was out on a training ride. I think it was a week or two after we got back from meeting the team in Germany. So we'd taken receipt of our bikes, all of our kit and our gear, signed our contracts, flown back to our respective countries. I'd rebuilt my bike. I'd been riding it around it must have been a week to 10 days or something. But I was coming back from work on an extended route. And then, the crash that did the rounds on videos. You say you got it there? You want to?
Yeah, I think I have. I didn't link it up. Oh man, oh no, I did. I just need to play. I think I just need to press play. Yes. So that's you, Mike Rammel. Some people are late joining. Mike Rammel is our guest this week. That's you approaching the junction in perfect manner, I might add. Boom! Oh, crikey! Oh, look at the make of the car. What a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny one. I think you commented, didn't you, to say how many debates you found yourself in online regarding this particular video.
I've seen this loads. I've seen this for years, I think. And people are always like, oh, he didn't make himself visible, or he should have waited behind the car. Like, what are you talking about? It's like a perfect approach.
Yeah, front and rear lights on the bike going as well, for that matter. It's madness. I didn't quite expect what happened when this footage became public to happen. I didn't expect for a second that obviously someone behind me with a dash cam would capture the footage. Like, what are the chances?
Oh, you went on a ride with them? I assumed you were out on a ride with them. No,
this is dash cam footage. Just some very kind guy behind me just came and tapped me on the shoulder when I was laying in the verge because the ambulance took a few hours to arrive. There's a whole story, but effectively he jumped out of the car, said I caught it on camera because the BMW guy was, sort of effectively trying to pull me up, and I was like, I think I've broken my hip.
He was trying to pull you up?
Yeah, it's not in the footage that you see here, but he kind of grabbed my hand and was like, up you get. And I was like, leave me, get off.
You just hit me with a ton and a half of metal. At speed. And you want to try and pull me up?
I couldn't believe it. That he was just trying to, oh, you'll be right, up you get, mate. Luckily, it's one thing that was caught on dash cam from the car behind. The car behind the car with the dash cam, there was an off-duty nurse coming back from a shift. And in her car, she had blankets, foil wraps, all those good things. And she was, pushing on the hip, and it was absolute agony. Initially, she said, "I don't think you've broken it, but you might have cracked the hip." And I was like, I've just literally just got this, what was £13,000 bike at the time for retail, from a sponsor. I can't believe it. Like, my year is ruined. Like, I can't believe this. I've been back in the country for 10 days, and what are they going to think? Luckily, the bike was fine, and it was fully insured anyway. There was not a scratch on it, so I think I took most of the brunt.
The bike was fine.
It was fine. There wasn't a single scratch on it. Genuinely okay. And when we met up in the April, so obviously we met up with the guys in Germany at the Alpecin HQ in March, and then we met up again in northern Italy in the Dolomites for a team training camp. They inspected the bike, and the guys were saying, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. I was like, I think so too. I think that's okay. So yeah, we got away with it, luckily, and I managed to ride it for the rest of the year without it, buckling under me. So I was very, very lucky, yeah. So yeah, caught on dash cam. I had the lady behind me was a nurse, thankfully. Taken to hospital later. X-ray just reveals just severe bruising. So I think I was very lucky. But yeah, the old man with this footage that's old man. That's a bit derogatory. The elderly gentleman texted me afterwards and said, I've got the footage. Let me know if you need it for insurance claims, etc. And I said, look, I'm not going to press charges. Like, I'm okay. The bike's okay. The kid was just in a rush. He's a bit of an idiot. And the policeman who attended the scene said that if you want to press charges, you can. And I have been through that process before when my first Cannondale was written off, and it was just a lengthy, stressful process. So I thought,
why is it up to you? Is it not just just like reckless endangerment, driving without due care? Why don't they just get driving due care with attention straight away? Or does he get that anyway?
He had to go on a speed awareness course, and that was sort of the main reason I didn't want to press charges, because at least there was going to be some sort of nudge. And full disclosure, I have been in one for doing 32 and a 30. Oh, gosh, eh? But let's not go there. Road safety is important. I'm talking about
the law is the law. The speed limit's 30.
Yeah,
it's not 32.
Exactly. So I completely agree. And I will tell you now, I now drive to the speed limit.
Good.
Much to the chagrin of my wife. So.
Excellent.
So I chose not to press charges knowing he was going on a speed awareness course. However, there was one moment where I was laying on the verge and the bike had been moved and whatnot, and I could overhear the BMW driver sort of describing his account of the events, and it was not an accurate account of events at all. He said that I was on the wrong side of the road, that I pulled out, that I had no lights on, that he didn't see me, and I quickly called the police over and said I had lights on, I was in my lane, he cut the corner and wiped me out. And that's when the policeman said, okay, let me go and talk to him again. By this time, the young BMW driver, his mum had turned up under the scene, so that gives you an idea of his age. And she was sort of saying, are you okay? I was like, I'm fine. Like, stop trying to, make right what happened. Like, it's happened now. I'm not going to press charges, but I've been told he will go on a speed awareness course. So I let that be. But when I got the footage, I sort of showed a few people that I know, just on my phone. And they you should post it online. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm sure it's just going to cause a furor. And in the end, you would have
saved me hours of arguing with random people if you hadn't.
I'm so sorry. I spent probably sort of cumulatively a day or 24 hours. I must have spent hours myself arguing with people. In the end, I ended up taking the footage down from several places just because it was just causing so much noise. And in fact, the driver of the BMW found me on Facebook and contacted me and said that I'm quite traumatized by what happened, and people are contacting me and having to go at me about it. Do you mind taking it down? I was like,
because his reg was assumedly visible on.
No, his reg was blurred out in the video footage that I shared. I don't know. It must have. I guess obviously Facebook works on like friends of friends of friends of contacts, etc. So yeah, it sort of gathered steam, and I actually didn't realize until I went to take it down that it had something like 2 million views. I was a bit flabbergasted. I was like, oh wow. Which would explain why my phone was blowing up with people like the BBC calling me, Sun newspaper, Mirror, Telegraph, all the broadsheets and tabloids and red-headed newspapers contacted me. I had an agent contact me, offering to. The first thing I did was
what a great crash victim you are! Would you like to feature in new crashes? We've got a great crash going on.
Unbelievable. He said that don't sign anything. We can get you paid for this. Are you okay? Wanted to sort of interview me there to try and ascertain how saleable the story was. I said, I'm not interested. He said, don't be a fool. Like, you could leverage, you can make thousands from this. We can get you on TV. You can be part of safety campaigns. Like, no, I've got a contract to train with a bike team for a year. I just want to focus on that. Leave me alone. And yeah, people saying to me, "Have you sold it?" People accusing me, "Have you monetized it?" I was like, I haven't. I can honestly say, hand on heart, to this day, I haven't made a penny from that. But the only participation I did take part in, or the only thing I said yes to initially, was BBC Radio Berkshire contacted me and said, like, "Would you be willing to come on and sort of be part of the the morning drive time show just to talk about road safety?" And I said, absolutely. So I rode there, spoke to I probably had about 60 seconds on the radio, if that. And then off the back of that, the BBC TV sort of team were
this is the highlight for me. This is the absolutely crowning moment. The legend of BBC afternoon programming.
Yes, Nick Knowles, the one
Knowles!
and only. He of music fame as well. Don't forget that. Okay, he's a very multi-talented.
What did he do?
Did you know about that?
I don't think so.
He released a single and everything. You'll have to go. Whether you want to try and YouTube it now on the stream, it's totally up to you. But
I can't get it. I think I would do a specific Nick Knowles podcast. That's how much I love the guy. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah. So him of home improvement shows. I can't remember the name of the show I did. Yeah. But so a team of researchers contacted me from a show on the BBC called Close Calls on Camera. Ooh. And being the BBC and having what I thought was reputable kind of status, I thought, this would be good. If it was like ITV or Channel 4 or 5 that contacted me, I'd be like, look, just do one, because I'm not being part of your EastEnders level drama here. But it didn't. It ended up being something like that, if I'm honest with you. It wasn't the hard-hitting journalism about road safety that I thought it was going to be, that I was told it would be. But they ended up coming to my house. Oh, in fact,
he's let himself down, Knowles. He's maybe the twilight of his career. He's got a bit sensational. Nobody's into DIY as much as they were.
Well, I'll tell you exactly how it works, because I thought I was going to get to meet Mr. Knowles himself. I thought I'd be shaking hands with Nick. I thought
and who wouldn't be? You're gonna bite the hand off anyone who says you get to meet Knowles, aren't you? Like,
I had a few celebrity encounters in my days, but I was most pleased to be able to get to meet him, but I didn't. Yeah. So basically a TV crew ended up meeting me at my office. I rode the route that I took that fateful day on the way home. Came up to the junction where the money shot happened, so to speak, and they put some cool effects on it, like grayscale, slowed it down, zoomed in on my screaming face, made a real piece out of it. So come on, you're sensationalizing this to the max. You're milking this for all it's worth.
Did they have the evil BMW driver piling down the road?
No, they were good to not demonise him, to be fair. Again, I've seen it recently, right, how BBC has obviously demonised e-bike riders. But they didn't, they just made it out, they really laid on the victim element for me, yeah. I had to stand by the side of the road where I was hit and do a little piece to camera. Then they followed me home and did a bit of, Nick Knowles overdubbed what happened whilst I washed my bike in my garden. And then I sat down in my living room and they interviewed me. And I remember the closing question, which I believe now I understand they ask all people who have these incidents, these close calls on cameras. Okay. And the lady said to me, "So, Michael, was it a close call on camera?" Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I don't think I was going, because it occurred to me quite clearly when they sat down in the living room and they were going through questions and whatnot, how much they were going to sensationalise this, and I wasn't playing that game. So I wasn't biting. I was like, no, it was all right. It wasn't too bad. I came off okay. I played everything down. So yeah,
I was fine. I was kind of all right.
Yeah. So I played it down at the end. I didn't make too much of it. I refused to take part in the circus.
Oh well, actually, the only main reason I invited you was to sensationalise this clip. I'm gonna resell it. You've given the rights to me now.
Yeah, a friend of mine. I'll have to try and get her to send it to me at one point. But she took the clip. And she did insert, the EastEnders, doof, 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 doof. And every doof of the drum, so to speak, was me hitting the floor again, like doof, bang, 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 bang. Even that made me laugh. I was a little bit traumatised by it in the week immediately afterwards, but I quickly got over it, got back on the bike and carried on. But when she said that, I was like, "Oh, you bitch." Yeah.
So you did just get back on the bike and carry on.
I genuinely did have a week where I was very unsure, where I didn't want to go back on the road. And then I took some time off work, like just a couple of days. I had a very sore bruised hip. In fact, great segue. I think I did a couple of rides on the Wahoo Kicker indoors, feeling safe. I was like, maybe this has got some value, this bloody turbo trainer thing. But eventually I sort of just shook myself out of it and said, you know what, you've got the opportunity of a lifetime. You've literally won the cyclist lottery here and got given all this stuff and all this support and all this coaching. Like, why are you lounging around at home? Like, it's been a beautiful week of weather. You should have been out there riding. So yeah, I just shook myself out of it, cracked on in the end, got back on the bike and had a great year.
Is it? I mean, obviously, it's the guy who cut across the car onto the opposite carriageway. But was there anything that you could have done, do you think? Is there anything that you could have done to make it less
watch
likely?
what this white car does. He could have done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously his fault. It's obviously, I'm not going on the... Oh, bloody hell, no. There's nothing you could have done. Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people suggested, obviously, I could have waited behind the BMW that's indicating right, or it's got this hazards on right now that was going left. But the highway code does say that I was correct. Like, I was in the sort of prime position.
Well, people even do that in cars, don't they? If there's room to get by, they
Michael, did you have a lot of people when you first put it on YouTube actually justifying the driver's actions?
Yeah. I had a lot of direct messages, a lot of hate direct messages as well. People saying to me that, like I said, people accuse me of monetizing it. People are trying to glorify it, trying to demonize like BMW drivers.
But what about? I mean, obviously you had quite a few saying they felt you were in the wrong position or didn't have lights. But were people actually saying that the driver was just driving perfectly okay?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's madness. That's the thing for me.
Well, people think they own that corner. They've got the absolute right to cut that corner. It's like, that's the easiest way to go around. Like, it's utterly insane that people just think they own that corner.
Even in a car, if you're approaching to go right, people do that, and you have to slam on the brakes before you get to the end of the road. It's just one of those things. It just seems to be normal these days. It is. This is absolute madness. And on a bike, you could, There's
literally nothing that can be posted about a cyclist accident. I saw one last night. What was it? Cyclist died after being slammed into a lamppost or something. And I was like, surely now they can't, no one can say anything, because there was nothing about what the cyclist had done. That the driver had been arrested, so that's a good indication that the driver was at play. It was like, cyclists driving around, riding around with no lights on, what do they expect? And there was a mother there who was in the comments, and she said, I lost my son, really famous cyclist from Yorkshire, I can't remember his name, not internationally famous, but a Yorkshire, famous in Yorkshire, and it was a Yorkshire newspaper. She was there saying her son had died, hit by a careless driver, and people were still, stuff like, 10 points for a cyclist, isn't it? Stuff like that.
Unbelievable.
Utterly, the hatred of cyclists. I mean, that's partly why I don't go out there. People just genuinely have a visceral hatred for cyclists because they occasionally get held up by 0.2 of a second or something.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. I will say though, and this is not in defence of drivers, it's more kind of just an observation about sort of the sort of anti-cycling sentiment. It does vary, both obviously country to country. Like for example, in France, Italy, and those sort of those European type countries, they are far better.
I mean, the Netherlands, I would say, is one where genuinely. Yeah. I mean, you do get cycling hatred in France and Spain. I've observed, but I don't think you do it.
It's not. I'm not. Yeah, for sure. They're not cycling, sort of, not perfect, but they're better for sure. Yeah. Probably because of the likes of the Tour de France and whatnot, and the sort of the role that plays. But what I would say is, we relocated from Berkshire down to the New Forest on the south coast back in August last year, so very recently. And granted, it's only a small sample size because winter is rubbish here in England, and it takes so long to bugger off. But August, September, October, part of November, when I was doing plenty of riding outdoors, I did feel and also sort of observe that just anecdotally, I think drivers down here are just kinder, more patient, gentler, dare I say it. There's like 40-mile-an-hour speed limits that go through the entire forest, the entire national park, on roads that where you could easily do 70, 60 if you wanted to without any risk or concern, because they're big, long, flat, straight open roads. The drivers down here generally are pretty compliant, and I do extend that kind of compliance as well, just to how cyclists are treated. Nice big wide berths when we're overtaken. I haven't yet experienced it myself anyway, but like horns aren't honked at you. I don't sense it here. So
that's nice.
Yeah,
I've always had a soft spot for the New Forest area. I went there with an old girlfriend once, and I had a pleasant weekend. So that's
happy memories.
There is always the danger in the New Forest of hitting an animal on the road, which is generally why cars are happy to go slower, because the animals are not paying as much attention.
Yeah, they're not insured. Deers don't have insurance.
Plus, most of the locals are slightly higher average age than Berkshire as well, so they're generally quite slower as well.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Having lived there myself for a little bit, but
Yeah.
The other thing I'd say about cyclists is, from a legal point of view, we don't often help ourselves. Red lights are often ignored by cyclists. But it doesn't justify knocking someone off their bike and breaking their bones or killing them. I mean, how can it, say, well, cyclists, you break all the rules. You don't, follow the same rules as I do. So it's fine if I knock you off.
Yeah,
how does that work? Of metal. It's just mad.
You're exposed.
Yeah. I think a lot of work needs to be done in terms of even just the psychology around how we talk about it, right? So we talk about cyclists, i.e. the person, but when we talk about cars, we talk about cars, the vehicle, not the person driving it.
Yeah.
So there's a very, so cyclists, even though we are humanized because it's us, we are hated. Whereas again, I mean, you sort of, made the point yourself there, didn't you? You said, oh, look, surprise, surprise, what car is it? And lo and behold, it's a BMW. And it is the truth. So I could probably, I've probably got like a top 5 or 10 list in my mind of drivers, of vehicles and or brands. I could probably say, well, if I knew that was coming behind, I'd probably be a bit more scared, or a bit more fearful. But if there was a Honda Jazz coming behind me, I'd be probably a bit more okay. So yeah, I think
I got hit by a Bentley
for a reason. Oh, and you only do it big.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the. Oh, I maybe don't want to make enemies of the Shah of Iran, but let's go for it. Who cares? He's probably not watching. I don't think the Shah of Iran is watching. He's probably dead now. But his former bodyguard, he hit me. The Shah of Iran's former bodyguard hit me in his bed.
Oh gosh!
It was also the. I don't know if we would go to the crime syndicate of Shah of Iran, but the same guy was involved in the largest MOT scam ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Not MOT scam, VAT scam. Sorry, but it was in
VAT.
the garage.
Okay, I was like, how did the MOT scam happen?
Yeah.
How do I do
it was
that?
in the garage. It was in the garage. I'm getting the market sorted out, and I just had my MOT. So I was thinking, but hit by a Bentley. Right.
Was the car okay?
Didn't
That's probably all he cared about, right? Oh no, my boss's car.
Yeah. But the same linguistic thing was on that article last night. So it was cyclist killed by a car. It was not by a driver. So the cyclist was killed, person, by a car, not by a driver.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bike. And it wasn't it was, it's always that framing, isn't it? It's the car. The car hit him, not the driver.
Exactly. It wasn't me.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've been going for 50 minutes. Right. What happened next in your life after being hit and having this thing?
Oh, blimey. So where were we? Had a fantastic year with Alpecin. Did sort of more hours and or kilometres on the bike than ever done in my life. Fitness went next level. That year ended. Sort of thought, that bloody turbo trainer, I'll give that a go after all. It looked like fun. And just got into it. Really, really enjoyed it. Joined another cycling team for 2020 and 2021 called Orient CC. We did a few crit races, IRL, which was great fun. And And then just sort of been chewing up the miles really, and then like it feels like yesterday, like, but the last 3 years have just blown by. So could probably skip that chapter, and then like a few issues with back injuries and pneumonia and things like that, but come back every time. So yeah, I'm here trying to get fit again. I think that's
It seems like you've had massive
setbacks.
You've had viruses and was it pleurisy? What was it?
Yeah. So I had pneumonia, which led to pleurisy, which is like an inflammation of the lung lining. That was horrible. That was the worst thing ever, because physically felt fine, but as soon as the heart rate goes up to like 100, I'm coughing and I can't breathe. So yeah, that was horrible. That took about 6 months to recover from, and by recover I mean just feel well enough to ride at a level of intensity, like above zone 2. And then I was having to rebuild again. So all that good work that I did in 2019, 2020 was gone, was sort of wiped out. But I did come back stronger. But then in 2020, early 2021, I had a herniated disc in my back. So like, oh, bloody hell. So yeah, that took another 4.5, 5 months to come back from. But I had a very good chiropractor, so very fortunate. So, and here I am again. Yeah, just recovering from another little virus that I had in December. So,
I've hardly had any setbacks in my life. My life's been like nothing really bad's happened to me. Do you think really? I'm trying to excuse my lack of achievement and stuff, but do you think really that? Actually, no, I was going to say like setbacks actually help you. They don't really, do they? It's like pain in the arse having a setback.
I think they definitely help with resilience. They definitely help. Like, for example, getting pneumonia was probably largely my own doing. Like, I was riding to work in the winter, I got a cold, I thought, man, I'll get on with it, keep going, hacking up coughing, really struggling to just, ride at a gentle pace in the depths of winter, kept going, got worse, ended up, sort of coughing up blood and all sorts of stuff. Ended up in the living room floor, really struggling, bent over. And that was when my wife said, I think you should go to hospital. Yeah, I had like very low blood oxygen. I was in hospital for like 4 days with it. So, I mean, I think ordinarily, like if I weren't an active person, if I was just, sort of sedentary office worker, then that's the sort of thing, I wouldn't say you get over it. I'm not trying to play it down, but it's only, I think, when, like us, and you're raising your heart rate to 175, 180 beats a minute, or you're really breathing hard, that obviously things like that take effect, or hit you hard, I should say, or you realise how hard they hit you, I think. So, yeah, I had that as well. But I think it's given me some resilience. So this most recent sort of little virus I picked up back in December, I was very attuned, as like aware of, okay, I think I'm coming down with something. Got a bit of a cough, scratchy throat. So, yeah, take some time off and come back and, steadily.
How did you get into Zwift? How and when?
Yeah, so like I said, I got that 2019 free subscription from the team, which is good. That was probably my first introduction. And then I thought, I'll keep it going. It is pretty good, this thing, isn't it? And then during the winter, I think it's probably a good idea to not ride out in the winter. And then, it's just sort of been a steady sort of uptake from there. I think the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. And then when I put together a dedicated space for a Zwift bike and fans and the monitors and PCs and stuff, like it's easier, isn't it, just to walk out into the garage or into the shed or wherever the bike may be and just jump on. So it's just the ease and the convenience for me that just means that Zwift is just perfect. So I've got 2 kids, so going out for 3 hours at a time isn't always possible.
Yes, it's like it's a bit like golf, isn't it? It's a great game, but it just takes a lot of time. Oh, Sam does golf. Sam does golf. So just the whole thing, don't you? Golf.
Yeah,
Zwift.
but I've been banned the last 2 Saturdays from playing because my wife had other ideas. So, which is again why Zwift's good, because you can Zwift while your kids are still, and yeah.
And did the pink predate your team choice, or was your team choice informed your background?
I would say the team choice. I think being part of the coalition has definitely informed the pink a little bit. I'll be honest though, a lot of it is just about, I look around other sort of Zwifters on YouTube and I think, no one else has kind of claimed that pink and kind of gone heavy in it. So that it's more about kind of just, if you're flicking through channels or videos or thumbnails, like, hey, does that stand out a little bit? And Yeah, so there's a little bit of, I think it's good fortune in that the coalition pink is a sort of pinky, sort of purpley colour. It's not my favourite colour. I don't protest or claim to sort of love pink, but it stands out. So I've kind of just claimed it and I use it on as much as possible. So,
yeah, this is your channel, and shamefully, well, you've just hit 100 subscribers.
yeah.
But it's a shame on us. 100 is ridiculous. You should have 102,000 subscribers. It's a great channel. You should subscribe.
Thank you.
If you're not already. Yes, in fact, I was going to boycott the podcast until I was just going to start and then not actually say anything until you got to 100. So you have got to 100. I don't know if that was today, but
it was today. Yeah, it was today. I was, I've posted about it actually, but yes, I think it was either the day or last night. But yeah, I'm over the moon. Thank you very much for everyone who's subscribed so far. I appreciate it.
Well, you've yeah, it's a great channel. Do subscribe. I know there's people out there who aren't subscribed. Go and subscribe to Michael right now. I'm going to give you 3 seconds.
Thank you.
The link is in the description. Hit it. Hit the thing. Right. Okay. Right. Back to life. Back to the itinerary. Right. Cycling is. Oh, we've done we've done 3. We've done 3 of 9. That's not bad, is it? In an hour. But yeah, wow, the next one's easy. Next one, dead easy. Right, what is it? Oh yeah. So I said, did I? I can't remember if I've said it on the podcast or whether. And I'll tell you what. Before we do that, next week is the Danish National Esports Championship, and it will feature our one and only Thomas Sorensen. He has made it into the national finals. I think it's fair to say comfortably, and he will be competing for glory. Let's say glory. I don't know. No, I don't think I wouldn't. I think there's some pretty awesome people out in Denmark, pretty good at cycling, and so obviously Thomas is one of them. But maybe. But who knows? Who knows what he'll be competing for? So that's awesome. It's like a 3-race thing. There's a scratch race, a points race, and an ITT, I think. I can't remember the courses, but maybe Thomas will enlighten us in the chat. I think he was there. And in a Zwifty chat exclusive swoop, he's going to be a guest on February the 14th. Thomas Sorensen's going to go on! So that is going to be
Valentine's Day as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be my date. So yeah, Coalition. Coalition. David Kowalski is in Coalition. Do you know him? A+ rider. He does Zwift Analysis Network. If you, he was a guest on the previous podcast, which I was a member of, and he does Zwift Analysis Network. So have a look at that. There's some really insightful videos on that. Who else do I know? I'm gonna screen share. How can I screen share again? There we go. Right. So who else? Sander Michaels. Oh, he's great. He's top man. Sander Michaels. He beat me in the Sisu tour, but he's awesome. Obviously, he's awesome if he beat me. Oh, Emrys is cool from Wales. Yeah, I really like Emrys. Stuart McElroy. Oh.
I think Coalition is, I might be wrong, but I've either read or heard somewhere that it's one of the biggest e-cycling teams.
Oh, so we're not going to go through all of them.
I mean, just on the Discord alone.
Let it go.
Yeah, it's a great team. It's a great team.
Do you know Leonard?
What I would say about I don't know Leonard personally.
He's the Singaporean national champion.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I have to go and say hello.
I think he went off to join Dirt after he made friends with people when they did the in life event. So he might not ride with you much now anymore.
Yeah,
but he is great. Michael Rammel is great. Oh, Guac Bam. Do you know Guac?
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
Quack Bam's got a great channel as well. He's a really good rider as well. Really good fun.
I feel very sheltered. I feel like anyone you ask me if I know them, I'm probably going to say no. Apart from
Josh
Cam
Walner?
Jeffers yourself, yeah.
Josh Walner?
Yeah, I know Josh. Yeah, I know Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I've raced with this guy loads. Oh, he's A now. Simon van der Bruggen is cool. I don't know why I'm going through this list. This is going to take forever, and we haven't got the time for it. But
Is that Sibren van der Bruggen?
oh, sorry,
Is that?
I've never spoken to him. He could well be right.
Okay. If it is, then yeah, he's in my team in
Sibren.
Coalition Yedex.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So yeah, he's an absolutely fantastic rider. If it's Sibren or
Yes, it is.
yeah,
Yes.
Sibren, I think.
Yeah.
He's
He's beaten me
absolutely
loads.
fantastic.
So I've got. Why
Yeah.
are the teams got such weird names? What do they mean? What's the origin of the team names?
I think it's something to do with the periodic table of elements. It used to be just A to Z, A wings, B wings, C wings, D wings. And then I think they thought, we should probably be a bit more creative. So like the Y wings became Yedex and A wings became Acadium.
They're not elements.
Yeah. Well, I've seen the names displayed within a periodic table of elements. So whether it's that they are elements perhaps in another language, I don't know. But I do agree because I've the first thing I thought when they said to me, "Hey, like, do you want to come back?" Because I was riding with S wings prior to Christmas because we didn't quite have the numbers for the Y wings at the time. And I said, look, I'll captain them. When we get a few more riders or people join the team, I'll jump back in and I'll be the captain for the Y wings. They said, yep, great. And then I got contacted just before Christmas, and a guy called Jesse, who's still helping me out with, Jesse Bauer, still helping me out with some of the organisation for the ladder league races, said, we're going to change your team name to you're going to become Yedex. I was like, oh, what does that mean? I was like, yeah, I gave it a Google. And it gives me all sorts of other, like, did you mean, the Google, like Yandex, it says, like, no, that's some sort of internet search thing, but no Yedex. So
it must be an acronym then, mustn't it?
It must be.
Or
But yeah.
series of. Oh, so what could it be? No, let's not. We haven't got time for this. Pondering about what Yedex could possibly stand for.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Oh, Ollie Moore's a member, but he's started his own team now. Competition has arrived. Ollie Moore.
Oh.
Right. What's the next thing? Oh, what was I going to talk? It was like 10 minutes ago. I said I was going to talk about something else. What was it?
Cam Jeffers race.
Oh yeah, Cam Jeffers. Oh man, I don't know if is this a bit. No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Cam Jeffers race. Where's my video? There it is. Yeah, he was such a nice guy. So he turned up from last minute, just getting ready for the Crit City race, and I see this pop up. See, Jeffers has joined. I was like, surely it's not him. But it was. It was the real Cam Jeffers. And the thing is, when you're riding with and it was really cool because there was only 5 of us who bothered racing. A couple of sandbaggers behind, but maybe not the sandbaggers, but they got dropped very early. Let's put it that way. So there was 3 ties, and yeah, and he's like straight on in the comments telling these ties, oh, this is how you do it. If you want to get away, you've got to brake harder and stuff like this. But he was letting brakes go, and I was like, oh, he might just be rolling around, or he might not be fit anymore. I haven't heard from him for ages. I didn't know. Yeah, and he was just such a cool guy in the chat. He was really nice, respectful. He thanked everyone after the race, said what a good race it was. And then I said, oh, it's us versus the ties, because there was 3 of them, and they were definitely acting as a team. Like, they were doing individual breaks and stuff. And not following. And if I jumped over, then they would jump on my wheel, and so on and so forth. And I just thought, well, Cam Jeffers could, if he's fit, he can win this any way he likes whatsoever. Or he can just let that brake go and then bridge over, at 10 watts per kilogram for 30 seconds or whatever. So I don't want to let the brakes go. So I ended up covering all the brakes. And then I thought, well, what I really want is I want to be in a break with Cam Jeffers, because he'd agreed effectively to team up. So I thought, right, I'll try and break him on the hill. Whereas I should have left him to do it, really. But I just kept attacking the hill. And at this point he said that he was done fighting as well. I was like, so maybe he was just like joking around because everyone knew who he was as well, which is quite nice, even though they're ties. Um, and yeah, I just kept attacking the hill. It seems a bit stupid now, in retrospect, when I'm up against a former world championship qualifier. Um, but yeah, I just kept attacking him. Not him, sorry. Kept attacking the ties on the hill. They kept responding. We did drop one, so it was nice. It was like 2 versus 2. But yeah, I suppose what I wanted to actually. No, let's talk about the race. We can talk about the race. It was a nice, fun race. Um, yeah, and then eventually one of them nearly got away, but no, actually, that's not it. So I thought I'd cut this bit out. Yeah, I can't believe how many times I attacked this hill. It was like if they weren't attacking it, I attacked it, and I think even when they attacked it, I like attacked after them.
Did you get a bit sort of giddy, a bit excited that Cam was
Yeah,
in the race? You thought, right, show him what I can do.
yeah, I think I was trying to show off a bit, maybe. And oh yeah, so yeah, and then he attacked after my attack, which I suppose is what you want, really, isn't it? You know, you should. That's the way to be. You know, if you're trying to get one of two people to win, one person attacks, makes them all tired. He was so efficient as well going up the rollers. He was like really, you know, yeah. So after my one of my goes up the hill, I think it's this one. They all attack, and I just lose the draft. Oh no, did I get it? Oh no, got back on this time. But it was yeah. I still kept going up that hill. I was like, yeah, I'll go. Try and drop Cam Jeffers. I had a little bit of a gap on him, but he was so efficient going up that hill. And then I went for it again. What the hell am I playing at? I was like, give Cam a turn. He probably wanted to attack the hill. He probably was like, yeah, oh no, he's gone again. I better sit on. So I attacked it again. And this is a top category as well, so these guys aren't any clowns. So that guy pondering around at 1 per kilogram, he's not. He's not that good.
Yeah, I find a lot of the sort of Thai riders and the guys from those countries are always sort of 60 odd kilos. Like, what are they like on Zwift Power afterwards? Have you seen their weights or anything? Or
Yeah, they were quite small. A lot of them were B category, but they always race in A because they're good enough.
yeah,
I've been to Thailand. I can see that people are that small, especially if you're a
yeah,
cyclist. I'm not,
yeah,
it doesn't. I wasn't at all worried that they weren't genuine. And they're in the Y Practice Just Race team. Have you heard of that one? And which is a great name for a team, I think. Y Practice Just Race. And yeah, I've always had really good races with them. Really cool guys, and they were really, they were pretty nice about racing with a well-known guy as well. So, and then yeah, they dropped me after one of the things. I was just fan viewing him here. Yeah, and he won it by a mile, unsurprisingly. But it was kind of nice that he left it to the last lap because you could have obviously won it miles earlier if he wanted to.
yeah. Oh, good. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Is that the only sort of, or have you had other experiences with sort of other notable or notorious Zwifters before?
I mean, I wouldn't include him as. I suppose he is notorious, isn't he? But it's a shame. Let's talk about that a little bit more. But I did a B race once, and Cav was there, or maybe more than once actually, and it was on maybe the Muckle Yin or something like that. It ended in Glasgow centre, the town centre, and yeah, he did he made an effort, I think over the Clyde Kicker or one of the bumps after the Clyde Kicker, and got away from the pack. And I was the only one who got on his wheel. So I got on his wheel. I was like, it's me and Cav! It's me and Cav! Like, it was awesome! And then he always does this, and I should have predicted it, but he just stopped pedaling, like about a kilometre away, maybe like the top of the final dip,
Okay.
because he always does that. He doesn't want to win the races. He doesn't,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to take away someone's win. But I was just knackered from having tried following him, so I was just done, and I came like 20th or something. So yeah, I hold that against him, that he ruined my race.
Oh gosh.
I rode in a race on Glasgow Crit with Mark Cavendish, and he did exactly the same. And I didn't say that at the end. I took a screenshot of my name above his name and made sure I kept a copy of it.
Did I say Mark Cavendish? I meant to.
Oh, did you? I thought you were talking about Cam.
He's a Cam, yeah.
Yeah. Who else have I done? I think I have definitely rode with others, but no, don't think any current day stars that I can think of. Who's everyone else? Oh, people will be in the chat. Oh, Kerry rode with Steve Cummins. Oh, that's a big name at the moment. Nobody else. The German Whisperer. Who's that? The German Whisperer.
Edward van Bosenhagen.
Oh, okay.
Darren Vandit says he ran with him. Yeah.
Oh, pretty cool.
That's good.
And with KK, I think if he's not at the moment, he is the Zwift Power leader.
Incredible, isn't it? Incredible.
We're not doing Rate My Ride, I'm afraid, Darren. I'm afraid. I didn't get a chance to download it. Right. Yeah, so what I thought we'd also talk about is how important having a good bike, let's say the Tron. Just say you were to illicitly get the Tron, for instance. Why am I showing that? What the advantage is for having the Tron compared to being a kilogram lighter. So weight doping, like casual weight doping, that at least half people do, as admitted to. So if we look at this, I'm saying this, you can't see it, but I can. Eric Schlange did some tests of. Well, why is that webpage not appearing? What? Oh man!
Just on Zwift Insider, so he did some comparisons between weights and bikes.
Yeah. I missed out the HT bit. Right. So I think he had two tests with the standard 75 kilograms and an 85 kilogram weight. He did a climb, so he did the Alpe de Zwift. So it's about 50 minutes, and he gained. So by having 7 fewer kilograms, I should say, he gained 318 seconds. So what's that? If per kilogram, it's about 50 seconds. That's 300.
Over 5 minutes, Rob.
Yeah, it's over 5 minutes. Divided by 7 is
42 seconds there or thereabouts.
Yeah. And then on the flat, I wasn't expecting this actually, but on the flat for 50 minutes, he gained 50 seconds by being 7 kilograms lighter. I wasn't expecting it that much. So no matter which, on a standard route, just say, I don't know, something with the hilly common but loads of flat or something like that, or Caspats, or that kind of thing, you got to be looking at probably getting on for 30-40 seconds, I would think, by being a kilogram lighter. Maybe 20. No, but you're talking a significant amount of time by being a kilogram lighter, which people do all the time. They do it all the time. They admit to it. They don't update their weight, and they say, "Oh yeah, use the average weight from the last 3 months from when I was the lightest." And people do this all the time. And
the other one is that 5 kilo increments are fine. I've heard that one said a lot. Oh, you don't need to move it until you're 5 kilograms different from what you're on Zwift. So if you're 75 if you're 70 in Zwift and you're only 74, you don't need to change it. That's the one I've heard quite a lot. It's 5 kilo increments. That's when you really need to move it.
So if you go from 70 to 74, that's fine. Oh my god.
That's mad, isn't it?
It is madness.
Yeah.
But
I submitted my weight, my rider verification weight video to the ladder the week before last, and the day that I did the weigh-in, I was 80 kilos, which was a bit disappointing because a few days before I was 77.8 or something. And I thought, that's strange. How have I put in? I'll put on, just under 3 kilos, whatever the case may be. Never mind. It is what it is. Submitted the video. The day after, I was 78 point something kilos. Sort of got in touch with Jesse Bauer, who's been helping me organise the ladder team, and he did say, look, our recommendation is if your weight fluctuates by 2 kilos, just do another verification. And I said, no, it's fine, I'll leave it at 80 because that's what it was verified, and I'm not going to update it every time. But yeah, it does get me a little bit riled up when you see riders on Zwift Power whose weight rather is 80, 74, 70. So, well, hang on, how have you lost 10 kilos in 6 weeks? Or,
yeah, I mean, it does vary a lot. As you say, 2-3 kilos is water, isn't it? It's just mainly water and a meal or whatever, But it's not. You can't do 10.
No. I think Zwift. I mean, I've got a long list of things I think that Zwift should introduce into the game. But look, I mean, for general rides, like whatever, if you're just doing an open sort of crit race, or I'm not too concerned. Let's be honest. None of us are. Well, I mean, not in particular. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm not too worried about what my Zwift Power Palmyra says. For sort of unsanctioned rides, but for ladder league, for ZRL, for sort of big rides, event rides, that I absolutely care. And I think all of those rides, either you have to submit a weight video if you want your weight, or should you want your weight to change more than, say, a certain percentage. Let's say that you're 80 and you now want to try and change your weight to 74. Well, whatever that works out to be as a percentage is clearly too significant. Like a change from 80 to maybe 78.5, 78 is maybe within the realms of possibility, as you say, to sort of water retention and whatnot. But to lose 8 kilos from your last weigh-in is pretty significant. I think that Zwift should allow you can bring it down, but it's going to have to be over the course of, say, 10 days or a week, whatever the case would be, to only do weight adjustments so many times.
Yeah. There was one ZRL season that I did, and I looked at the weights for everyone who was in my division every week, and out of it was a big division, it was 82 people in it or something like that, who rode every week, and I was the only rider who apparently ended the series heavier than when they started, out of 82. Apparently, I was the only one, and I think anyway, there was a lot of people did a big weight reduction on the mountain stage. Suddenly, there were 3 kilos. That was the time that they lost their 3 kilograms. Oh, I mean, you would do, wouldn't you? You go on your weight loss thing just before the mountain. So it makes sense. I'm sure that's.
I mean, that's worse than the people that have been the same weight for 7 years in Zwift as well.
In a way,
that's amazing weight control.
Yeah, so just on the Cameron Jeffers thing, the amount of advantage he would have gained from going from the Canyon Air Road or whatever that you get at level 6 to getting the Tron is something in the region of 2 to 3 seconds over an hour, compared to losing a kilogram. Just dropping. I know it was probably in live events and they had to do real live weigh-ins, but. If you've weight up by more than a kilogram, then they've cheated more than Cameron Jeffers did. And his excuse seemed reasonable. It was like, I didn't realise. If you're not a gamer, you don't know that someone 100%. Playing your account is bad. I don't think. I didn't know it was particularly bad. I'm not doing that, by the way. But who's going to ride my account? But
I agree completely. Like if he jumped onto the Zwift platform, with not knowing that in the future at some point this would become a competitive real life sanctioned thing. I mean, correct me if I'm right. If I'm wrong, not if I'm right. Was that the first e-cycling sports for the UK? It was at the top of the BT Tower, wasn't it? It was the first big thing. But
I think he did know he was going to be using it for a big event. He just didn't realise that you couldn't do it.
It
That
would be
way.
so serious, yeah. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, I think Zwift has got to do more to not level the playing field, but to eliminate those potential issues for those big events. Anyway, just give the guys a choice of 3 or 4 bikes, and just say, look, you can have an aero bike, or if you're part of a sponsored team and they're sponsored by Canyon, then fine, you're going to have a. I'm thinking about this out loud and realising actually there's a flaw in my plan, but
Yeah,
they
but
should do something more to level that.
they can neutralise it and put the say that it's Avenge or whatever, couldn't they? They don't have it doesn't have
Yeah.
just the way it performs doesn't have to be what it says on it.
Yeah. Oh, what you mean? Just neutralize the effects of the bike.
Yeah.
Just make it just purely an aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Better than my idea. Good job.
Okay. Right. I'm sorry. I think the mid section was a bit weak there because I was leading it. So I think I'm going to try and speak less. Right. What's next? What's next? Sorry. I've clicked the wrong thing. Right. Oh, I like this. I really like this. I'm not sure whether to do it like this or not, but I did another tier list. Did this. So, let's come back here before we do that. Actually, I'm all over the shop. I'm literally all over the shop. So somebody, and I will give you his name shortly, for Zwift Insider, wrote an article about like easy things that you could do to improve Zwift. Not big things, I wish, Zwift Racing Score was better or whatever, but just little things that he thought would make the game better that might be easy. Now I think he's let himself down on the first one, Peter Suave. Good article, but this sounds like a big one, really. He's like, I want just something little, and then he goes like, right, I want to see a rear view. I was like, oh, that sounds quite a big thing, really. That's quite a big change to the HUD. And he wants quicker leaderboard timeouts for questionable efforts. So if someone's done a superhuman effort, they should get the jersey, but only for 15 minutes if you're like above the age world record or something like that. Auto warmers, I like this one. Auto warmers. So if you go in a cold environment, you should automatically be, get a waterproof. Oh, you should get outdoor wear basically. You should get cold wear. Cycling clothing should automatically be put on you. It's quite a nice one.
Yeah, appropriate weather clothing. I like the idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Extra drops if you get a leaderboard jersey. Maybe. Robo Pacer colouring. So at the moment they're all rather random, aren't they? But he's saying there should be a range, and it should go. Red should be the toughest one. Yellow should be the easiest one. Whereas I don't think it's like that anymore. And then in the chat, some other people came up with ideas. So I'll start at the bottom for some unknown reason. Do you know where you sometimes revert to the steel bike? If you go into a TT race or something like that, and you go into your next race, and suddenly they've put you on the standard Zwift bike. Like, I don't want to be on that. Obviously, just use the next one down in my list. Crazy. A lap button, so your stats reset. You can use your garage and the companion app. Pedals should be on the bikes. You should be able to. There's no pedals in Zwift. Some people haven't even realised this. There are no pedals in Zwift. Your feet are just in the air, going round. You should be able to filter events.
I hate to put this out, but the Tron bike probably isn't feasible either. But okay.
No, that's true. I meant to include this week as well, but we can't possibly include another segment when we've already been going for an hour and a half. But there was a Indiegogo campaign for a bike called Revo, which looks a bit like it's got the same mechanism of having a thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it. And it's
I've seen the one you mean. Yeah.
Ride leader. The ride leader should always appear in the rider list, so you know how far behind or ahead you are of them. Pretty obvious. Good one. Coffee stops. What is this all about? That you can't coffee stop? You can coffee stop for 30 seconds in the first 5 minutes, Was it 3 minutes? Oh, I can't remember. And you obviously get your full coffee stop after 30 minutes. I've never used one, I don't think. I've never done a group ride for more than 30 minutes, I don't think. Unless it's in Tour de Zwift. And then, obviously, I'm not one of those colonialists who believe that it's okay to use a coffee stop in Tour de Zwift. And I added one, this is my own one, is adding a decimal point to the gradient. I've realised, like, if you're doing Douce France or something like that, although it says 0%, there's lots of bits where it's slightly down. So it might be minus 0.4, or it's slightly up, plus 0.3, 0.4. And if that makes a difference, I'm taking my little rest if it's minus 0.4. I'm easing off. So I want to say, and I can feel it. So it's no advantage to me because I'm at one with the game. I'm like a sort of Matrix character. Like I can see all the code. I don't need to have it pointed out. But I think having that estimate decimal place would help people. Though they don't rest anyway. They're just like, no, I'm doing my FTP. I don't care. You've become a lot more. You seem to be You seem to have like a lot more efficient over the last couple of months. I've noticed. Have you? Has anything happened? Have you got just more Zwifty? Sorry, I'm talking to Michael. Michael.
Yeah, I was just trying to think. I for a long time, I probably considered myself to be a very canny Zwift racer. However, what I probably realise now in retrospect is that I was probably just a very, by my own accounts, a strong Zwift rider and relied on that. And I think where I have now lost some strength, I'm realising I'm not so canny. In terms of what's helped me probably regain some of that is going to be things like Source for Zwift, where you gain like the draft visibility. So I've now got a little diagram, or in fact a metric that tells me how many watts I'm saving in that position. So many times I would try and get into sort of second or third wheel and think that's a good place to be, because I think that's what common knowledge is, or common wisdom is out on the road and whatnot. But in truth be told, depending on the speed and the elevation, you're probably saving sort of anywhere between 80 and 100 watts. Go back another two wheels, you're saving 150 or more. So I think there's definitely a more efficient place to be in the pack than the first or second wheel. And that probably is even more prevalent now, obviously, with the sort of the increase or the uptake of, or the uptake of the Zwift Play controllers with steering as well. I find if you allow a rider in front of you, so if you both have steering and you allow him to just veer off the left or the right, you can see that draft just drop to zero. Yeah. Obviously, if you both have Zwift Play controllers, it will guide you back behind them. But if they're all over the place and snaking around, the Zwift automatic steering is a bit more gradual. So you do tend to lose it. So yeah, you have to be a bit more on it. So I think Source of Zwift for me has solved a few of those issues, or helped me become a bit more canny. And yeah, a lot of it is probably just realising you're not as strong as you were, Michael. Like, stop trying to pull on the front, because you might be able to do it for 2, 3, 4 minutes, but then you're going to have an empty box of matches and just be dropped out the back on the next 0.4% gradient. So yeah.
Oh, I've just noticed the rider in my race today who dropped me. He didn't have a heart rate, but he wasn't DQ'd. Do you know? I got dropped by a sticky water in Tour de Zwift this week. It's really annoyed me. I just quit the race. I was like, oh, can't bother. Yeah, this guy dropped me today, and I assumed he was a sticky water as well, but he's not. I've just checked, and he's just really strong. His power is really strong. I've just had a look. I did afterwards, like, I wonder if actually was sticky water. And I've just checked literally just now. Nope, he's just a lot stronger than me.
Just really very good, yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
He went off at like 8 watts per kilogram, fairly steady. I was like, oh, what?
Wow.
I'm knackered.
It's impressive. I do think it should be easier to flag riders. I know that obviously you can do it through the companion app and whatnot, but I think if you hit the up arrow on the keyboard and just slide along, like somewhere next to emojis or whatever, there should be an option to flag a rider. I'm not saying that should instantly DQ them if you get more than enough people flagging them, but I should definitely call into question or raise some sort of flag.
If you're going above the world record for your age group, if you've done 20, 5 minutes, 1 minute above the world record for your age group, you shouldn't. They should just remove you. Just send you a message afterwards to say, "Hello, you've got something set up wrong, or you're a world champion. Come and talk to us, please." That and no sticky ones. Why are there sticky ones in Zwift? Why do you do it, Zwift? Someone tell me. Will someone please tell me why there are sticky ones in Zwift? I've been asking. Oh man, why does nobody know even? Why doesn't it? Nobody knows why there's sticky ones. Why doesn't you? When you stop pedaling and your thing stops transmitting power to the game, why doesn't the game give you 0? Why?
100%.
Why?
It's a USB. There's a little USB tool apparently, isn't there? Well, again, something to do with, I think, from what I hear, or heard, the way that Cameron Jeffers had obtained that Tron bike is, I don't think it was legit riding. I think so. Apparently, I could be wrong.
I don't know, but
yeah,
the sticky watts is slightly different, but yeah, I mean, just
isn't the sticky watts to do with the loss of connection code though?
It might be
something about making sure you get back up. You get back in, so it gives you a certain amount of time.
Yeah, so
once you've lost connection, where it still recognises you, and you can falsify that by the way you ride. For me, in a group ride, that's fine, but in a race, if you disconnect, just go to the next race.
So are you saying that it's some interface code, not necessarily Zwift code?
That's what I'd heard. Right. That it was they aren't removing it because it's supposed to be there, and it's to do with making sure that they're giving people a chance if they do have an internet dropout that they will still be hopefully back where they were. It doesn't work
it's
like
not
that.
internet dropout, is it? It's a connection between your
Bluetooth. Yeah.
Anyway, my mission, my New Year's resolution this year was to find out why because sticky watts exist.
A couple of comments in the chat talking about the Zwift Racing score as well, changes around that. But that's an episode all of its own, isn't it? Zwift Racing score.
Oh yeah, we haven't got time to do that. We cannot possibly approach Zwift Racing score. I have done a whole episode only 2 episodes ago about Zwift Racing score. Right, right. So, do you want to choose your best one? Choose your best one that you want. I won't choose my own, but do you want to go first, Simon?
Yeah, can I just ask what was Remove Rider's name?
Yeah,
names?
so Ben did a nice video about it actually, where sometimes if you're in a big pack, the rider names that are above their heads.
Oh, yes.
There's so many of them, and they're I never know. Is it opaque? Are they opaque or they're transparent? They're opaque, aren't they? So they're opaque. Big black background with white.
Yeah,
there's one in. I don't know. It seems like there's 1 in 3 of the names are up at any one time. So if you're in a group of 80, you can't. If you're sitting at the back, as you should be, then you can't see what's going on at the front. You have to move forward like a pillock.
I don't know if they've sorted it out, but you're often used to cause a black box that would just appear in the middle of your screen because the code was so poor. It didn't actually have a name in it. It just caused this big sort of like black bit in the middle of the screen. I actually I think I would put that in my kaboom. I think it's pointless.
It's that good, is it? It's a kaboom.
Yeah.
Blimey.
It's just an absolutely pointless piece of code. Get rid of it. Doesn't help with anything. You can't even tell which rider it is anyway.
Very often, you get mixed up. Which one's your favourite, Mike?
Don't revert to still bike. That's got to be a kaboom. That has got the potential if you join late, if you're running around like a madman.
You should be penalised for not remembering to change your bike, so I'm all for that.
Really?
I agree. But I've had it before where you jump onto Zwift, you're out on the Tempest Fuji or whatever, just doing a little bit of warm up because every kilometre counts. You don't want to warm up in the pen. But that's just me. And then you jump into the pen from Watopia, and then suddenly something drops out, something disconnects. So then you have to quit the game entirely and come back in again, and then before you know, you've got 30 seconds before the race starts, or worse, you've missed the start. So I think if Yeah, I don't think you should revert to tour bike. I don't like the idea. I agree with you. There should be an element of penalisation, but
I'm taking this off.
yeah.
Is it coming
No,
No. Keep it. For me, kaboom.
Okay.
For me,
Fair enough.
yeah.
personally.
No, I agree. Especially if you've done a TT the day before and you've totally forgotten and you come in, you're on a TT, you go, oh, it's going to swap, and then you're on the steel bike, you think, which one's worse?
Yeah. Well, maybe the garage icon should just flash as a reminder, like, hey, you're on the wrong
I
road.
think I'm going to put garage in with Companion app as mine. It just seems that it would solve it all, wouldn't it? Because if you'd only have to remember once, whereas now you have to remember, and sometimes if you're in a bit of a rush, it sorts it all out. But actually, I do like.
It'd be nice to be able to change kit in ZCA as well, not have to go
Yeah,
into the
it's
game
true.
and change your kit. So it's quite a good one.
Oh, I'm being persuaded back. Okay, I'll go with that. There's no bad ones, really, are there? Are there any bad ones? Does anyone want to say the ones that are really bad?
I don't really care too much about pedals or left arrow.
Do you not?
Personally, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not. Yeah.
I think floating limbs is more of an issue for me than pedals. When sometimes you get the view when you're in the pen and you can only see half the leg. That's more disturbing than not having a pedal.
Put that in the medium. There you go. We're not going to fill it all, but I tell you what, this one. Oh no, I can't even drag my own one. I'm going to put that there. There you go. I think I like my idea. Since no one else does. Right! Oh, that was great. That was really good fun. There we go. I'll give it a kaboom. Kaboom! And I'll tell you what. I'll give you a crown. Oh no, I can't move it.
Oh.
I can't move it. I was going to give you a crown there, but I don't know how to move it. It's probably up here. Screen. Ah.
You didn't get one at the start, so we have to get one 3/4 of the way in.
Yeah.
There's your blank screen, everyone.
Right, what was I going to say? What's next? Oh, team captaincy. Yes, you're a team captain. You'd have any tips for team captains, or have you? Is it? Yeah. How do you find it?
It's great. I really enjoy it. I think obviously the experience is going to differ depending on the team itself. Whether you've got let's be honest, like a relatively compliant team, whether you've got some rogues or mavericks in there, they're going to have ideas of their own, that sort of thing. Yeah, people who go, well, screw the plan, I'm doing my own thing. It depends. I think it depends, or your captaincy experience will depend on the team you join, the team you form, the people, whether you know them, that sort of thing, whether you've got Discord or some sort of audio chat, all that sort of stuff helps. The way that I've been running things with the edX, I should say, is it's been a bit of a democracy. I've been doing some sort of pretty serious reconnaissance rides, throwing up paragraphs upon paragraphs of suggestions about where we may choose to attack and or be wary of an attack, and then sort of said to people, what do you think? And then either by death by 1,000 words from me, because I have a tendency to ramble, both in text and speaking here, people go, fine, whatever you want, and give in. Or the good riders, the stronger riders, or the guys who have got, sort of an affinity with a certain course say, at 16K, it's a really good opportunity. I'd really like to make the most of it. And we go, yeah, cool. We'll support you in that. We'll give you a lead out for that.
What if you strongly disagree, though? If you're like, actually, I think that's a really bad plan. I don't like to, because especially, it's like people are doing it to help, or, they're doing it as part of the team. You're like, that's a really bad idea.
In Ladder League, it's actually strangely easier because, of course, it doesn't matter who wins the race. It's about cumulative overall points for the team, right? So first rider across the line gets 10, second is 9, third is 8, and so on. So if someone wants to go away on their own because they're super strong and get 10 points, that's fine. But if you take two opposition riders with you and they get second and third place, you're damaging the whole team. So you've got to think about the greater good and the cumulative overall score for the team. So I can only speak from personal experience, having ridden with the S-Wings, or actually I don't know what the S-Wings have now become called, and the Y-Wings, now the edX coalition guys. Everyone's been very much on the same page and singing from the same hymn sheet. But that's only part of it. I must admit, especially with captaincy, with the ladder league, there's so much regulation and control around weigh-ins, height verification videos, 30-day velo scores, all those, so if there's an outlier performance, you can flag that and it goes on to under sort of scrutiny. There's so much control, sort of race control around what happens in the ladder league. So you've basically got to do a lot of admin as well. Even the process of challenging and accepting a challenge and choosing a course and choosing the power-ups and issuing the challenge and then all of the work that goes into
Oh God,
analysing.
I was thinking of doing a ladder team, but I'm no. If I do it, someone else is going to volunteer to do that. But I cannot I cannot take that on as well.
You get into a cadence. You get into, excuse the pun. You get into a routine and a rhythm of kind of, hey, issue a challenge, accept the challenge, choose a course. I mean, I do a load of extra metrics as well. So there's a couple of ladder videos on my YouTube channel you might see where I put up a whole matrix of our team versus their team, 20-minute powers compared for the whole load, all the riders present, 20-minute watt comparisons, what's the kilo comparisons. So I try and do a lot of extra.
Have you done it in HCT, Simon? Have you done any ladder?
Captaincy, no.
But have you,
apart from in the ladder races? Yeah, I've done quite a few. They're brilliant. I mean, obviously we're lucky. Well, first of all, that Dan took control, but there's obviously a few teams that they've got now. I think 3 or 4 maybe in ladder.
And someone does those side by sides. Those that Mike was talking about. I often
Josh does as well. Josh Warner from Coalition does a lot of them. So a lot of those metrics are available to us because we've got some really cool tools available in the Coalition that are available to all captains and vice captains. It's just a case of whether you stream your race and whether you choose to also share those metrics on screen as part of your stream. So I choose to do it when time permits.
I think I'd get banned from Ladder League. I don't think they like the way I ride.
But actually, you're right. Dan did get called out when he's got a good sprint, and he actually had to do a verification video and send it in to them. And
that's pretty good, isn't it?
They called him world class.
Don't stroke his ego.
This was only for 5 seconds, mind you, but it was pretty impressive, even for 5 seconds. So.
But I've heard they do ban people for fairly silly reasons as well. Like, if you did that outside, you'd crash. Like, okay, well, that's stupid. I thought, no, I'm not outside. So that does bother me slightly. But I have done a couple and don't ban me yet. Right. More people should be captains. Captain. Right. Any good or bad bits of captaincy you've noticed, Simon?
Well, I think I mentioned the one last week where maybe in the first ladder race we ever did, and the opposition all had steering and just suddenly swerved over to the right, and we were not expecting it at all. That was pretty impressive, but obviously, they've been doing ladder racing for a fair old while. It was our first go. I've seen a few actual proper breakaway attempts using the team, not just individuals, and the captain's calling that. I've seen Dan do pretty well at that as well in some of the HCT rides. I've often gone, what the hell are you going on about while I've been riding? Because obviously I'm not strong enough to do that. But if you get the right people doing it at the right time, it can have an effect and help the other 4 people, because obviously the other team has to chase. And so,
I love the little innovations that some people come up with. Paul's in the chat, and I think he mentioned that one race he went off on a TT bike and just bombed away, and made them chase him basically. So they get draft, he doesn't. But if he makes it, that's the top spot gone. If they give him enough, if they give him enough leeway. But obviously, if they can get on his wheel, then he's done for basically, because they get drafted.
Risk and reward, eh? Yeah.
They get drafted. He doesn't. But it's a good way to. I love that sort of stuff. It sounds awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into ladder. Hopefully they won't hate me too much. Right. Next. I think we're near the end, aren't we? Are we close to the end? Well, we should be. We're an hour and 3/4 in. Right. Itinerary. The fence. Dun dun dun. Simon, you suggested something about the fence. I didn't really
Yeah,
look
so
into it.
look, this was I mean, this is a racing community generally, and it's always been a bone of contention of mine that the in-game messaging can get quite heated. Sometimes it just seems pointless, and why? Lots of accusations when how can you possibly know all that kind of thing. But as many people know, I at the moment I'm not really able to race as much, and I've always kind of been into group rides. I'll use them as training, pick a particular group ride to do a particular level of zone 2, etc., because it's much. I prefer doing a group ride to doing it with the bots. I find it more social, even though obviously there's plenty of people riding with the bots. And so everyone's obviously aware of the controversy in the racing with the various accusations of cheating, but it's always made me laugh when I've done group rides, just how contentious the fence is. So if people don't know, in a lot of group rides, there's a stated watts per kilo for the ride, and the ride leader will keep it around that, that area, try and average that for during the ride. It's a stated, everyone's expecting it. Lots of people couldn't care less, and they'll try and just ignore it anyway. So what the ride leader can do is deploy a fence, which is a certain amount down the road. It's a big red sort of like wall that shows in Zwift, and and if you go past it, you just get a message on the screen that says you've now got 59 seconds to return back the other side of the fence, otherwise you'll be removed from the group ride. You cannot believe the amount of contention this causes in the chat with the group leaders getting upset about it. You kind of think, well, why are you getting upset about this? You deployed it. If people are going to go past it and get removed from the ride, that's up to them, isn't it? But so, I just wanted to say, look, there is controversy everywhere in Zwift, not just in the racing, but in the group rides as well. I also wanted to use this as a chance as a plug for my own banded ride. So I run a ride on Saturday afternoons on behalf of ACT. It's banded, and what that means for anyone who doesn't know is that you can ride however fast you want and you will stay with the group. Yes, it is possible to break the band, and I have seen a couple of people do it. I still don't really know how you do it. It is possible to pop out the back as well. Generally, that's done when you forget to pedal down the hills. Rob would not like banded rides. But even then, if you're going fast enough, you should be fine. But so banded rides, no one's complaining about the speed of the ride because you can go whatever speed you like. Yes, a lot of people still don't get it, even though they're on it, and you spend quite a lot of time explaining how the banded ride works. But really, this was just a chance to say, look, controversy everywhere, group rides, constant complaining about the fence, constant people abusing it, leaders getting really uptight about people not observing the fence and staying on it. And the funniest term always makes me laugh is when the group leaders tell people to stop surfing the fence, which is basically where you sit on the fence but you're not quite past it, so you don't get the message. So they're as far up the hill, far up the road as you can be. It's just, but it is weird that you join a group ride and then you spend all your time trying not to ride with the group. But it's just for many weeks now getting into group riding a little bit more, leading my own group ride. I just wanted to talk about this controversy that exists outside of the races. Sorry, Rob.
What do you think should be done? If anything?
Honestly, if you're advertising a ride at a certain watts per kilo and it's a group ride, try and do what the leader wants you to do. Stay with the leader as much as you can. Otherwise, why bother? Go and join a rower pacer at the pace you want to go, or find a group ride that's going at a bigger watts per kilo. I know timing can play a bit of an impact here for people, but I try and observe what the group leader wants you to do. but equally, I'd say for more of the group leaders, just let people do it. And if they get zapped from the ride, then fair enough. I know it gets a bit upsetting that they, in the first 30 minutes, they can just come straight back again and do it again and then come back again. But, it's part of the game, isn't it? So, yeah, what I'd say out there is try and keep the group leaders happy. It's always nice to get a comment at the end of the ride saying thanks for the good lead.
Yes, I always 100% of the time, always thank the leader. You should always thank the leader.
Yeah.
They're giving up their time for the community. And any podcast
I can't recommend them enough for
podcast
structured training.
Take your time to thank them as well after they've given away their weekend. Do you know, I've got a bit of a disaster brewing. My quiz has been quarantined by the moderation team for violating code terms.
Code terms? What have you...
the terms of service?
Oh, no.
There's nothing... I was like, did I put interpenetration or something? There's nothing like that. There's nothing at all controversial in my quiz. I cannot understand. There's nothing even slightly controversial in my quiz.
No Zwift. It's the quiz. No punishment for me for losing it. I'm sure.
Well, no, the punishment is for not winning the quiz. So if you don't win,
see. Yeah, so even more likely that I would have had to do a punishment.
Well, you still have to if you don't win the quiz. That doesn't happen. I'm only joking.
So if there's no quiz, do we all need to do it?
What is going on? Why would my quiz be quarantined? What? There's nothing rude there. There's nothing. I mean, there's a picture. I'll tell you what. I'll get rid of the one that I added. Maybe that'll get rid of it. I don't know. Maybe. The only thing I've got a picture of people running on the beach, which it's not rude. It's like a cartoon. It's not at all even suggestive. But I'll try and get rid of that and see if that's it. Right. Before we do, next week's. I'll try and resolve this. So you've got to talk, I'm afraid, whilst I'm trying to resolve this. We've got... Oh, the sound might come... I hadn't realised this, but the sound might come on for my video, and I can't stop it, I don't think. Or maybe I can. Right. I don't... Can the internet tell me if the video is making noise or not? My dramatic video introduction is loud. Let me just try and resolve this quiz. So, Simon, I brought you down a peg on your on the me being your victim last week. I came above you for once, but I think you're gonna.
That's right.
I think you're gonna get.
I've been checking Zwift Power and it hasn't added it on yet, so maybe equally is challenging your results. So yeah, I'm just gonna.
What?
You're still saying 2-0 on mine,
really?
But you may be right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, you're still 2-0.
Oh, what? It didn't credit me because I beat you by too much. Is that what it does?
Yeah, you've got no credit on mine. I think it's just trying to make me feel better because it knows I'm not racing so much and not so well anymore. So
yeah, but you've got to fancy yourself on this one, I would think.
Yeah, I still don't think the climb is long enough.
You don't think?
No, I think you're still all right.
Well, I don't know. Everyone says that, don't they? Oh, I'll be rubbish. No, it's not going to be me. Let's just move forward to the thing. So, what bike would you go for this? I suggested. Well, actually, I said I suggested. I suggested the Pinarello with the die cut.
So,
62 or something like that.
I mean, I still think that the ground still makes a little bit of difference, doesn't it? And the Tron usually isn't as affected as much as the normal road bikes on the dodgier ground, is it? What? So,
really?
Or am I wrong?
I don't know. I just assumed. Oh, maybe because it's different wheels. It's wheels that make the difference, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So I think I might not take the risk and just go for the Tron.
Yeah, Tron's
because there is the gravel there is the gravel, isn't there? So I always thought the Tron was better on the gravel than the standard road bikes, but could be wrong.
I can't do a quiz. I just can't. I can't do a quiz. It's quarantined. I'm not going to be able to host a quiz for the first time ever. I have no idea what I've done wrong either. There's nothing rude in there. I mean, I'm tempted to show you the quiz, to show you that there's nothing there, but then I'd have got to do another quiz when it becomes available. I thought that's a nightmare. Oh, I don't know what to do. So yeah, 2 climbs. First, this tough bit up the epic. I mean, this is enough to kill you, isn't it? Really. I mean, it will This zaps my leg. This climb, just to try and stay with the group. You might catch on as well afterwards. You might do, but that's a fairly forlorn hope, isn't it? I suppose you don't want to chase. You don't want to chase the leaders, because they're not going to get away with the big descent. Oh, penguins appeared briefly.
This climb is no good for climbers either, and the climbers get dropped on this climb, and then what's the point in the next one? So.
Yeah. So yeah, there is a big descent. So yeah, that it doesn't take people away as much as it used to, but it will. If you're not in the group at this stage, fairly forlorn hope to catch on, isn't it? Really. Unless you're on a gravel bike, I suppose. I suppose. Yeah, some people. I did know someone who raced the Road to Ruins against me, and he was an absolute beast. And he did the epic climb on a gravel bike, so that when he hit the gravel section, he was, set, and then he just, obviously rode away. I suppose if you're hopeful that people won't go too hard because they know that there's another climb to come, but that everyone's going to go hard, aren't they? You've got to go all in on the first climb.
So, Rob, Michael, do you think it's a shame that there is no bike swapping required now? Do you think they've gone too far on making the road services not different enough?
I really liked it. I'm a big fan of watching Zwift races in general, and those WTRL days where teams would clearly obviously plan their bike change and whatnot. And now we've got the introduction of braking with Zwift Play controller, which would be even better. So I like the idea of I support bike change. I'm pro bike change, so I think they should leave it in and include it.
Yeah. I mean, I never liked the jungle really, but the bike swap it's a bit of fun, isn't it? A bit of fun. There's a bit more tactics. There's very few tactics you can play in a Zr.app race like this. A hilly one. It's just who can get up the hill fastest, and that's still going to be the case. But with a bike change, at least it gives you a bit of fun, doesn't it? There's something that you can get out. Yeah,
it's a point of interest, isn't it? It gives the commentator something to talk about. What they're going to change into, the team stopping here. I think Zwift needs to do more around commentary anyway, in terms of giving that as a facility for us, creators to use and tools for that. But it's a point of interest in the race, right? It's when your little YouTube scrubber at the bottom there, it's a little chat, so you can put your bike change, or someone to see what you changed into last time, why you changed into it. It's something else to think about rather than just get on the trainer and pedal hard for the entire duration, right? So yeah, I think so.
I was going to consider doing a one-question quiz.
Managed to get it through quarantine with one question in it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Sorry. Can you talk?
Sorry, Rob. Which bike were you recommending for this?
Talk to someone else. Talk to Mike.
What bike are you going to use, Michael?
He's not doing it.
I'm not doing
would
it.
you use?
However, if I were, again, I'm not a climber. I'm not a climber at all. More of a time trialist. I would choose the bike that gives me the most advantage going up the hill. So yeah, for me, it's either going to be the Pinarello with the DT Swiss disc wheel. On the last Zero I did, was it Knickerbocker or which one was it? It was on the New York route with a steep 10% that go up over that sort of flying road. I can't remember what that course was called now. course, I think Route 3 or Course 3 it was. I chose the Athos for that very reason. It wasn't the most optimal bike for the course overall, but for the climbs, which is where I suffer the most, that's what I chose. So I would choose something here that helps me on this course, and that's probably the Pinarello with the disc. What about yourself, Simon?
Like I said, I just feel like the Tron gets less of a disadvantage on the change of road surface. So
yeah,
and climbing's my strength, although I still don't think it's long enough for me. But yeah, I think I'll probably Tron it. Apparently, the pink one is the fastest, I've heard. But
Pink is the fastest. Yeah. Do Coalition always use pink Tron? Is that a team rule?
it's got to be pink.
ACT have to use green ones, although weirdly it's not ACT's colour. It's just they have to use the basic green because we're not allowed an in-game jersey. So, have Coalition got an in-game jersey? I think they have, haven't they?
Yeah, you've got several. Yeah, I know.
Not that we're jealous.
Spoiled for choice. It's a great jersey as well. I'll say that. I do like the jersey for the Coalition.
Do you do any group rides where people can collect them? I know we've got Peter on our Zwifties. This is why he's going on about collecting jerseys.
Yeah. No, you can't collect them. You have to apply for it through a sort of special form. But if you take part in the Coalition Chase to the Underground race on Friday evenings, shameless plug, you do get to wear one of the jerseys. And the jerseys are allocated depending on the cat that you also enter. So Cat A, you get the Coalition Alpha jersey. Cat B, get the Coalition jersey, the one that I wear in real life and on Zwift as well. Cat C and Cat D. Cat C gets like it's like what they call the Coalition Away kit, which is like a green version of the Alpha kit. And then actually, I'm not sure what Cat D used. I think they might use the previous generation Coalition Alpha kit. So yeah, we're spoiled choice. We've got wardrobes.
but you don't keep them afterwards.
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. No. I've got two of the in real life jerseys, and they look good in real life as well. So
that's pretty cool, man. Right, I've done a one question quiz, so you've got one question to get right. I did a full quiz.
So who can answer right the quickest? Basically,
yeah,
that's
but
it.
It's going to be a picture reveal for 30 seconds. So it's going to be, I'm assured, I'm going to guess, it's one of those, and it's a route map. So it's not the profile that I normally show. It's the eagle eyes view. Why am I saying eagle eyes view? What is it? The something eye view.
Topographical. Bird's eye view. Satellite view.
Bird's eye view. Yeah, bird's eye view. Yeah. Satellite view. Whatever. Right, just one question. All it's so exciting. I don't know if you would have bothered joining for one question, but if you do, I will try and show you that my quiz has been quarantined because it's very unfair. Should we give people more time? If you want to join the quiz, go to www.kahoot.it, or preferably, and you should really do this, download the Kahoot app and enter the game pin by whichever means you're joining with 728894. Oh, Simon's Cramp has made an appearance again. That's rather cool, isn't it? That's like join with Mike's Crash or something. Kerry, Seb, Mike, TK. Oh, who's TK? Ben Brown, TT Mascot, Simon, A+ Rider, and Christian Gleasy. Yo!
I predict Simon's Cramp will probably go to press the button for the answer and miss it and spend 20 seconds in much pain.
Is that Dan? Who is it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, I see. Right, okay. It's your right, that makes sense.
Just,
sorry, I'm being slow.
That's how it works for me in a race.
Right, okay. I'm going to start the quiz in 5 seconds. So if you've got to join now. Oh, I should have been counting down really, shouldn't I? But that feels like about 5 seconds, so I'm going to start the quiz. I'm going to start and end the quiz in one fell swoop. One question quiz. 3, 2, 1. What course is this? And it's going to reveal in little squares. Is it the Bell Lap, Fan Flats, Classique, or Gotham Grind?
I think I got it wrong. Oh no! Oh, did I?
It's got a turn around.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
Okay.
It's got a 180.
Oh.
It's a city.
No, I didn't.
Oh, quite a lot of people got it right. Nobody went for Gotham Grind. I thought that was a good thing to throw in there, but no one went for it. Classic. It looks quite like the Classique from a few perspectives, and it could have easily been the Bell Lap, but it doesn't have the turnaround thing, obviously. Right. Let's see who got there first of the 7. So 3rd place, Simon. Well done, sir. 2nd place, Ben Brown. Congratulations, Ben Brown. And 1st place is...
Not Simon's Crown, please.
Yo!
No.
Congratulations, Yo. Would you like to reveal who it was? And you can take the honour of deciding on the punishment ride, I suppose. Seems a bit unfair that you only got one question. I should have asked the level question, or I should have asked what Zwift level you were, shouldn't I? It should have been my question quiz. I don't want to claim rewards. I don't want rewards. Is no one owning up? Okay. 2nd place, Simon. Oh, I suppose
No, it's Ben Brown.
Oh, was it? Okay, Ben Brown. Do you want to choose the punishment? You can make suggestions, though, Simon. You could suggest that Mike joined you if you'd be willing to be a bit more precise about when you're doing yours. You could do it as 2. Maybe do a slightly more challenging one.
A two up. It'd be embarrassing if I can't keep up, though.
It's pretty good.
We're stronger together.
We're
stronger together.
How do we do this?
If Ben doesn't speak up in the next 10 seconds, then Michael can join me. We have to find a time when we can both do it.
Or do it himself, I suppose. Trying to...
Oh, yeah. Against a much faster robo-pacer as well, because he's a much better rider.
Fancy that challenge?
Against Constance. There you go. You have to lap Constance.
Bring it on. Tell me what I need to do. I'll get it done.
I don't understand. Why is it quarantined? Why? What is that all about? In fact, it's inappropriate. There's nothing inappropriate. There's a load of random Zwift questions. I just do not understand it. What is that all about? Oh, man. Right. Okay. Right, well, that's the... so don't forget about... Simon, well, I'll mention it again on Friday, but not Simon. Forget about Simon. Don't forget about Simon. If you want to advertise in the Discord, you should join the Zwifty Discord. I think the link is in the description, and you'll be able to contribute to such matters as when is Simon going to lap the pace partner, and if you post yours there, Michael, you might get some help as well. People like doing that kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, Thomas is doing the Danish Nationals a week tomorrow, so February the 1st. It's at 2:30 Central European time, so that would be 1:30 proper time. Is that 1:30 proper time? Are they hour ahead? I think they are, aren't they?
I think so.
Which way does the sun go? Yeah, it goes that way. So yeah, they'll be an hour ahead. So yeah, it should be 1:30. Oh no, does that make sense? Yeah, it does make sense. 1:30 our time. Well, thanks ever so much for joining, Michael. That was an absolute pleasure.
It has been
Really
fun, thank you.
fascinating.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it's a lot of fun and really active chat on the YouTube channel as well. So
Yeah,
well done you
thanks to all the
participated.
chatters, much appreciated. Some really good stuff in there. Thanks, Troy. I can't thank everyone. Ben, Paul, EMBR, JB, uh, the whole gang. The whole gang. Darren was obviously in there. Um, Kerry. Oh, hey Steph, how you doing? Yeah. Seb, Darren. Okay. Right. Next week, I think we have Generally Lost, who organises the charity rides for the cancer hospital in the United States. I can't remember what the charity's called now. Even though I rode for it last year. But yeah, Generally Lost is going to be on. He's also a really great rider, so that'll be fun. And yeah, and then the week after it'll be Thomas. So we've got guests lined up, out the door, waiting to be part of the Zwifty chat. But that was an awesome episode. Thank you again. Thanks for joining, Simon. Really appreciate it. Yeah, great to have you as co-host, and great to
Pleasure.
yeah, great to speak, Michael. I wonder did people obey the instruction? I shouldn't. When I end, I should just end, shouldn't I? It's like the natural end has come. But I'm such a horrible person. I just want things to continue once I've started. Right? Did anyone else obey the instruction to join? Let's have a look. If you haven't joined, Michael's, oh, you got 101. You are horrible people. Horrible Zwifty chat viewers.
I think I saw in the chat that you haven't actually put the link in.
Oh,
It's just a hashtag. Yeah.
Oh man.
But to the one person who took the time to go and find my channel without the link, extra legend. Thank you very much.
It'll go in as soon as I've finished. It was in at some stage.
Yeah.
I will definitely put it in immediately after finishing. Oh, it's Mr. Zwifter. It didn't appear as a link for some reason, even though I put it in right. So it's YouTube's fault. Blame YouTube. Okay, right. Let's end. Okay, thank you all. Cheerio. Have a great Zwifting
Bye-bye.
week.
See you
Bye.
soon. Bye.